me and my cousin William, we decided to plan a trip to South Dakota this year. Me and him and a couple of his buddies set a date. I called Eddie to see if he'd be interested in coming up and see if we could get a few on film, and it's worked out.
We made it, baby.
How long was that drive?
18 hours of no sleep, and now we're slipping down through these bottoms.
Yeah, so the first afternoon, we had never been to this area before, so we decided to split up. William went one way, Jason and Wade went the other, and me and Eddie struck out back north. So me and Eddie, we're riding down all these back roads, trying to get a lay of the land. We ride past this little block, and lo and behold, there's 3 strutters standing 50 yards off the road. So we keep on driving by. We find a little pull off, and I think it ended up being about a mile walk around to get ahead of the birds, but we were able to get up there and get set up on them.
I was going to swing. They were both lined up right there at one point. And I was going to try to swing, but I was like, well, I saw that third one walking up, and I was like, that may be a bigger bird. I don't think they've gone far.
No.
He got to, you see that tree that's falling, that little brush that's falling over right there?
Yeah.
He got to right there when I realized it wasn't a hen. I clicked my safety off, and he goes, I thought he spooked or something. And then just...
It's because he thought I was back here.
Yeah.
Birds walk off finally, give us a little breathing room. Me and Eddie put a plan together. He decided we need to get back up and go back down the back side of this little draw and come back up on the other side of the thicket. So we ease down the side of the thicket, and we get down there to a gap, and these birds are laying there looking the other way, thankfully. So we get set up, we finally get crouched down and hidden. Eddie put a little plan together. He was gonna call and I was gonna crawl. So Eddie starts calling, and I start doing the belly crawl. They were probably, I don't know, I'd say 100 yards or so from us. So I strike out through this thicket, crawl up, I pop up. I don't know, I feel like the birds are still too far. Eddie strikes them up. They kind of get up and start moving around, and I keep crawling to, I'd say I got, I don't know, 40 or so yards from them, and they kind of walk back off to my left, and I kind of thought we had lost them at that point. I don't know, a few minutes later, they start trickling back through, and I've got a small triangle that I can shoot through, and one steps through, and I'd click my safety off and said, well, the next one that comes through, I'm gonna send it. And Eddie said it best, that apex hit him like Jose Canseco in '92. Belly crawl. 100 yards. Ah, good God. Good God.
Thank
Man.
God.
How long can we work those birds, Eddie? Oh my God. That
Holy
is
cow.
the hardest turkey I've ever killed in my life. Made them move. Thought we bumped them. We finally got to some cedar trees, and I just belly crawled through that for 100 yards. And we got him. Jared Lewis, apex is 65 yards, baby. If you can't shoot them tall, shoot them long. It's always cool to kill a turkey, but to work as hard as we did to kill that bird and be successful, it really meant a lot to be able to do that with one of your buddies. The hardest turkey I've ever killed, but the most rewarding. Me and Eddie are on the board in South Dakota. I don't have any words. We go from this just high of highs to low of lows. Just life with Everball. So that afternoon, after we killed that bird, we went and picked up William, and we rode around trying to roost a bird that afternoon. We pull up on this block, we roost these birds. They're in a good spot for us to make a move on them the next morning. We put a plan together and went to bed with high hopes. We got up the next morning, got in there real early, and make a move around the backside of this block, get set up, and lo and behold, we are 75 yards max from these birds. I think Eddie and William, they both start cutting real hard at them, and these birds are burning the woods up.
So it's spitting up in the drum. Yeah. I want to shoot those two jags up here. Those are baby jags.
Man, I lost a lot of money this ate. One of those wasn't a long beard. I just had a group of jacks come in and do it at 20 yards, as pretty as you could have asked them to. It was real cool to watch.
Yeah, so that afternoon, William decided he was gonna go stroll through a couple river bottoms, and wind's blowing 40 miles an hour. Can't hear a bird 100 yards from you. So me and Ed decide we're gonna go ride around. We make a few loops, ease down this little road. Well, I look out the window, there's a strutter. I see the strutter and there's a hen and a couple jakes standing there. So we keep going, pull off and put a little plan together.
What we got going on, Buck?
Just drove by a few strutters on the road down here in this creek bottom. Fixing to see if we can slip in on them.
We slip through the edge of the woods, get down in a creek bottom, start easing towards them. We pop up, bird gobbles, he's 100 or so yards from us. So we start easing towards him. We crawl through the middle of this field, just can't make it happen. He's got a couple hens with him. So Eddie decides that it's time to crawl, not call. So I slip off to the back to the east, get down in the creek bottom, walk down the creek bottom what seemed like a couple miles. Well, I pop up on this bird, and his hens are in front of the tree that's laid down that I can't shoot. All he needs to do is take 2 or 3 more steps and I can kill him. And 5 jakes come running up. These jakes proceed to whoop him for 5 or 10 minutes. And then they all kind of carried off on down the creek bottom. So I meet back up with Eddie. We put a plan together. I tell him where the birds are headed. We get back up there, drive up the road a couple of miles, and we strike out across this pasture.
When I got close enough to him, he wouldn't ever gobble, so I didn't know where he was. So I didn't want to pop up, and every time I pop up, it was a damn hen right on top of me. So I had to get back down in the ditch and let them clear, and then go on. But I think we can go up here and ease around this point, and they're cruising that creek. And I think we can get in front of them if we can stay in that swag out there. I wouldn't pull out there too far. I mean, that field's right there.
Right here.
Sounds good to me.
I think just go around that corner.
Yeah, if we can go around that corner and maybe go up to that other tree line and come down and just wait on them to come that way.
We're putting that Brooks Tinsley sneak on them right now. Get in the ditch. Walk 20 yards and glass. Better get on him.
We get up there, we start working our way back down this creek, calling, glassing. We top the hill. When Eddie tops the hill, I say, he sees it's a strutter down there, and it's at least 25 more birds in this little block.
Come across right there.
Eddie starts fighting, purring at him. Birds start working back to the right. The hens are in front feeding. The strutter gets to the gap that I can shoot him in, and Eddie cuts at him real hard, walks up the edge of this knoll. He runs his head up, and that apex went to town.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Woo! Oh, you were right, Ed.
You know, those quick hunts, that's always a good time, and but when you worked as hard as you did for that bird, I mean, we hunted that turkey for 3 or 4 hours, and then to be able to seal the deal like that, it was a special one.
Day 3 is 27 degrees outside. Wind was blowing about 40 yesterday afternoon, but we were actually able to hear a bird gobble a couple times. So we're gonna try to slip across this big field and get into this little cottonwood flat on the edge of a little river and see if we can't get William on the board this morning.
I'll get on him, son.
We're gonna try.
Put him in the head. Hey, what you doing in here?
Heating up my hot pocket.
Well, come on.
All right, so second morning, I'm tagged out. Other boys in the camp with us, they've killed a couple already. William's still falling behind in here, so we're trying to get him one this morning.
As it started breaking day, those hens, they just started, man, cutting up. So, you know, back home, really don't want to call it, you know, less is more as it comes to calling, but up here, I started laying into it on those hens, and I've never seen hens get this fired up.
I've never heard a couple hens call this much.
They never stopped, so I never stopped either. I just kept on hammering them. And finally, they got pissed off enough, walked straight up the hill to us, kind of skirted us, went to our right. Turkey wound up gobbling right over the hill from us, and took the same trail that those hens did, walked right up the hill to me, and that's all she wrote.
I am shook up.
Just can't beat that. Just can't beat it.
I'm shaking.
Had those hens fired up, what I'm talking about.
I mean,
They never stopped yapping. I was just calling back to them. They came out past us, and we're like, where's the longbeard? And what was it, 2 or 3 minutes? He gobbled down there.
Yeah.
Same trail they came out on, walked right to us.
Man, I mean, dial it up any prettier. 2 hens come out, stroll the field. One's left in the woods, wallowed out. Longbeard was on her tail.
So last morning here in South Dakota.
Morning, Ed. About to go see if we can get on one of these longbeards.
So day 3, I'm tagged out again. William's got to shoot one more bird. We go back kind of the same area, same instance again. Wind's blowing too hard. We can't roost one. So we go in there. We don't seal the deal at first light.
We saw a bunch of turkeys the day before in that area where I killed, and we decided to go back in there and try it out. We're walking across this wide open hay meadow, and we wound up hearing a turkey gobble. So we work our way over there, and it was right behind this guy's house. He had these cows in a little feed lot, little enclosure, and Eddie gets his binoculars and looks, and these turkeys are in there with the cows, feeding on hay and all the other stuff out there they had for the cows. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Cow just headbutted a turkey.
That don't happen in Mississippi.
We knew that they wouldn't stay in there and feed forever, so we kind of watched them for a while with the binoculars and just stayed hidden. And they finally worked off to the north, and there's these huge creek bottoms out here, and we were able to get down these creek bottoms, get around them, get in front of where we thought they were going. They came down to this little pinch point in this field, and me and Eddie, Bucky kind of stayed back, so me and Eddie walked on up there and got pretty close. we could hear a couple turkeys right over this knoll from us. So we had to sit down right there. The hens, they were right over that knoll, and they just kept on caulking and yelping and doing, turkey things. And finally, the day before, I made that hen mad enough, they just came right up the hill to me. So Eddie was like, "You want to try to call to them?" So I called, and it wound up working. Those hens, they started getting fired up, and I kept giving it back to them. As the turkeys got more and more fired up, the hen came over. She kind of got off to our left right there on the creek bank. And I look across right over the knoll, I can see the tips of his fan. I was like, "Oh, there he is, Eddie."
I'm sitting back, can't really see a whole lot. I see the top of this gobbler's fan over the edge of this knoll, and I kind of peek around the corner where I can see Eddie and William, and Eddie's holding the camera up, and William's starting to ease his gun up, so I know something's about to happen.
It took a few minutes because, like I said, it was probably 15, 20 turkeys in that group. He had his fan back to me, so I never could shoot. Me and Eddie are both in a bind. I've got my gun sideways. Eddie's sitting there having to hold the camera free-handed. But finally, he run that old head up, and that's all she wrote.
Gosh, dog. How long did we wait on this turkey? Shoot. Let me go get it. What a morning, brother.
Yeah, finally killing that turkey this morning. It's gonna make that ride home a whole lot better.
see.